Hey guys, I'm back here to do a new unboxing. Yeah, so let me show you the box. It's a Sega system. The Sega Master System. Ooh. If you don't have a clue what the hell a Sega Master System is, this system came out around the time when the NES was around also. This was Sega's 8-bit version of the NES. And as you can see, this is what it comes with. The system, 2 controllers, a gun, and a 2-in-1 game in 1 cartridge. And look at this. It comes with a handle. Let me show you the back of it. And, well, I'll get to the other parts later, but let me open her up. Obviously, the Sega Master System is a 8-bit system. This system is more powerful than the NES, but because of how Nintendo dealt with third parties, they basically said, if you develop games on the NES, we don't want you to develop games on other systems, so Sega was left trying to make their own games. Here it is. That's how it looks in the styrofoam and everything. All original manuals, which is awesome. Here's the 2-in-1 game that comes with Hang On and Safari Hunt. This is how the cartridges look, by the way. All the cartridges do look the same, or at least all the ones I've seen. And the boxes themselves are very, very, very similar to Sega Genesis cases. Alright, let's see what it comes with. Here's the AC adapter. Nothing special there. Here's the RF switch. Nothing special there either. Let's take a look at the gun. It's black. In fact, this actually does look cooler than the zapper. It also came with RCAs, but again, this is only mono, which sucks. By the way, it does use the same connector on the Sega Master System as does the Sega Genesis Model 1. So those were the only 2 Sega systems that they actually use the same connectors. Let's look at the controllers real quick. You got your 2 buttons, like on the NES, and your control in your D-pad. It's not a plus sign, it's more of a square thing going on there. And the wire comes out on the side. That's somewhat weird, but yeah. It does use the same connectors as the Sega Genesis, so you could use your Sega Genesis controller on the Master System. And if you're wondering why there's no pause button on here, well, we'll get to that in a second. Here's another controller. Again, it comes with 2. Now, it only came with 1 of these things, which is kind of unfortunate, but here's what's actually kind of cool about it. You take this, and you got that little hole there. You can actually screw this on if it wants to go in. Okay, there it goes. And that becomes your, it's like a miniature joystick, which is actually really, really cool, if you ask me. Anyway, let's get to the system. Here's the system itself. A little dirty, but anytime I get an old system, I tend to clean these. But for the sake of time, I'll do that later. There's the system. Now, just for comparison's sake, let me show you a Sega Genesis Model 2 and how that would look on here. Let me take the 32X off. But just for a size comparison, you can get them? Yeah, okay. This is the Genesis Model 2, and this is the original Sega Master System. So obviously the Genesis 2 is much smaller than even the original Genesis model, but that's just for size comparison. Alright. Now, what you get with this system is you got your two controller ports. There's your power button right there. You got your reset button and a pause button. That's why there was no pause button on the controller itself, because the pause button is on the system itself. You got two different types of cartridges. You got your regular cartridge, which is obviously a top loader. So you take your game, put it on there, and that's how it looks. But you also got this little slot here, and look, I don't have one of these things, but there are these little credit card size cards that are pretty similar to a, if you ever heard of the NEC TurboGrafx 16 system, they use cards like that. This is a similar way. So yeah. On the back here, you got your AC adapter, your RF out with your channel select, and your AV out. And yes, that is the same connector as a Sega Genesis Model 1. So if you have a Sega Genesis Model 1 and use that connector, you can get a Master System and just use the same cord. Just plug it in and out from each system as you want. Yeah, I'm probably going to make this as a two-part because I'm getting pretty close to the 10-minute mark. So this will probably be a two-part anyway. I'm definitely going to have to clean this. But overall, the system looks in really good shape. And in fact, I actually like how this system looks. You know, this system if I am wrong on this, again, you can always correct me in the comments. But this, does it say what year? I'm not seeing it. But this came out around 1985. You know, about around the same time as the NES came out. Maybe it came out a little after, like a year after, maybe. But yeah, this was competing against the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it didn't do so well in the U.S. because Well, most people were buying the NES because that's where all the games were. Even though this system was superior to the NES. You know, this could do more colors. You know, the graphics were a little better, but you know, the system lacked the games, and the few games I do have for the Master System were actually really good on here. Obviously, it's in a black and red scheme, so yeah, that's going to be the system, and I'll test out the games.